Yes, very good evening to all, and we are discussing on the topic optimism for the past 3 days. And the day one, we discussed about what is optimism and the benefits out of practicing optimism. And the second day, you come to know that the qualities and traits are characteristics of an optimistic person. And yesterday, we discussed about benefits and importance of optimism. And today, just I will make you aware about that different models and approaches in optimism. If you were there in all the 4 days, and then you will come to that the holistic understanding about the optimism. As I said earlier, also in our webinar presentation, that it is a paid version we used to give to the people who are coming for our e-workshop. I thought of we have to give these inputs to all the participants, and I hope these inputs, if you are actively involved and get the information from us, and if you recommend, you can suggest these things to your family members and your friend circle. I think you can make a positive impact on that particular circle. With that note, I can take a minute to present my PPT, and I hope there are many models and approaches are there. But for today's presentation, I'm not going to take all the models and approaches. I'm going to discuss with you only selected models and approaches. Okay, you have to understand that there are many models and approaches and theories are there. We are going to discuss only a selected models and approaches in that optimism. Okay, we will get into that. The first one is optimism. Those who are new to today's session, and for them only this information. Optimism is nothing but the feeling a person who are holding about the future. They think that the future will be good and successful. You're writing an examination. If you're an optimistic person, you look at that. Yes, I will clear the examination and I will score a lot. And that feeling, we can say that it is an optimism. And it also comes under attitude. There are many places when you see that motivation speaker, they give an input regarding that. Attitude is equal to success. When you change, when you make a change, the formation of attitude, and you can make a change in your success process also. And there are many outcomes we can get it from that optimistic attitude. Favorable, desirable, positive, and all these outcomes we can see in a person. The person is an optimistic in nature. And in the topic, we can look at that, the approaches and models in optimism. What do you mean by approach? Approach, for example, if I ask you to meet somebody else and get something, some information from them, we may approach them over a telephone, face to face, or it may be you can approach them through email. There are different modalities. Approach is something, the way of dealing with somebody or something. The way of dealing with somebody or something, that we can say that it is an approach. What is model? I'll tell you. Model means model means when we are doing the school project, there is a real component will be there, a model will be there. Model is that gives an idea to us what we are going to do there. It is a representation of the what we are going to do in the future, the realistic one, the miniature of that thing, we can say that a model. Here, the model has a concept. So this is the concept, this is the idea I'm going to use for the construction of my house, construction of the association, construction of that particular content delivery, that we can say a model. Okay. This is a basic terminology I'm introducing you. As I said, there is a famous metaphor which is used by most of the motivation speaker and most of the people to explain the concept optimism. What they use, they will use this picture and they will ask you, what do you observe? And the people with an optimistic in nature, they will say that half glass full, and pessimistic, they will say that half glass empty. So this is a very common metaphor which is used to understand the concept optimism and pessimism. And when we look at the theories, as I said, there are many theories and models are there. When you look at a theory, there are a number of people who made an attempt to study the dynamics of optimism. So, what is the dynamics? How it is? When we look at that, the dynamism of optimism changes from person to person. There are many approaches, many perspectives. They look into that and they try to find out why a particular set of people, a particular culture people are more optimistic nature rather than other. So that questions lead them to come up with many theories. And that theories, they make a model or approach for dealing, understanding the concept. There are two fundamental models or approaches are there to explain the optimism. There are two fundamental models. One is an dispositional model and explanatory model. And in addition to that, there is one more model, ABCDE model, that is given by Martin Seligman. We are going to discuss. You have to understand that there are a lot of researchers. They are very curious to know that. What are the models are available in optimism. How we can give on a model for optimism. Okay, when we take, for example, in research methodology, when you take that descriptive analysis, experimental study, explanatory study, so these are the approaches. These are the models are available. When we take the particular research design, there will be a structure that you can start from here and go there, and then that is the way we can develop. And when we know that optimism can be posted in a person in a particular way, then we can use as a model for that can be done for all the people. So these are the two models already existing that help us to understand that how optimistic personality developing a person. One is a dispositional model and another one is explanatory model. We will discuss these two models in the coming slides. In addition to that, I'm going to add on one more model also at the end. That is a Martin Seligman's model. Okay, what is a dispositional theory of optimism? So the dispositional model of optimism. And when we look at that, the transformation or paradigm shift in the field of research, especially in psychology, that changes when you take that every generation. The much focus was given to that mental illnesses when the field was emerging. Much focus was given to that mental illnesses, disorders, disabilities. When the people who has done a research and they found that there are out of 100%, we can find out 3% of people are having in a given time, they are having severe mental health problem, and 15 to 30% of people are having mild and moderate level. And the remaining percentage of people are normal people, and they need these theoretical inputs for the betterment, for wellness component. So that is the period I can say in the year 1970s and 80s. 70s and 80s and 90s are a crucial period. The researcher who shifted the focus from that illness to wellness. So optimism comes under wellness practice. It's not an illness practice. When we ensure the wellness in a person, and then we can able to make a healthy person in physical as well as mental and emotional components. This dispositional model is a first wave of research in positive psychology. Research of positive psychology. What it has done into that in the first wave of research, it explores the impact of hopefulness on better lifestyle and mental health. For example, if I'm being hopeful for others, excuse me, the hopefulness we can find out if I'm hopeful for my future, if I'm on positive outlook about my future, and that outlook if make on if I change the lifestyle of positive outlook, and what kind of impact that will make, and what kind of impact that will make on mental health, and this theory try to explore that. And when they come up with research evidence, if we go and say that when you become a positive personality, that given more benefit to them, and they will not accept it. What is the research evidence? There are many people are there in our near and there, and even in a social media, wherever if you say being positive is an important, they will say that give me an evidence. They definitely they will ask them. For such a people, I can say that yes, there are many researches which were carried out and logically proven. And if the people are resistant to accept that these research evidence, it is because the person are having that mental health problem. If they are not accepting, it is that means, for example, there are two things are there. One is a good thing, another one is bad thing. If they focus about that, good thing, and they are more optimistic person, and if they focus about negative thing, they are pessimistic person. And if they say that it is not good to focus on the positive, that means they want to focus on the negative thing. But that I will add later. We can download, man. For that one. Sorry for that disturbance. Okay. My son is here and he want to order laptop for him. As I said, when I'm in the session, only he will come and ask me. He know that he is more optimistic. So won't come. And the second point in these things, we have to understand that there are many psychologists, they follow this model, this theory, dispositional theory of optimism. They found that it is naturally, by evaluation itself, we human beings are possessing this optimism in our evaluation. And the people who had an optimistic tendency in their mind, and those set of people are more alive. And those set of people are more alive and they are more successful. And the people who had an pessimistic approach, they are not alive. That's why when the family members in your daily interactions, the words which are using, you just count that number of words you are using. If you use more negative words, and that means you are someone is cracking, the devil is cracking into that other side. When you practice this optimism, then you can move forward. It is there already in evolutionary. We are having that tendency, that quality. That's why we are surviving here. And we are done. There are many kind of pandemic and endemic. We had many kind of this kind of problem we had. How we overcome because of optimism. And the founders of this model is on. There are two persons. One is on Charles Darwin and another one is Michael Caesar. They are the person they introduced dispositional optimism. And what they said in that theory, what they said in the model. And these two people are argued that the presence of positive traits in a person, it may be you or me. If the positive traits are present, that increases the chances of something good happening to us. If the person not having that positive traits, that increases the chances of bad thing happen to them. I hope you understand that. And their theory, their model, they come up with, okay, these many, they come to know that, okay, who are all optimistic most of the time. They observed and they have done an experiment and they found that the successful people are more optimistic and most of the people are failure in that any kind of attempt what they made, and he found that they are having negative traits. Almost every one of us, we want to become a successful. When we want to do so, when you like to become a successful person, and you must be you must cultivate and foster that positive traits. And there are many tenets of the dispositional theory, the core principles of this theory. What is the core principle of this dispositional model? One is an optimism is a built-in trait or personality disposition. So it is a built-in. You all know that personality is a dynamic organization. That means sometimes you will be very happy and introvert, and another time, by a certain period, you can transform into ambivert and you can change to become an extrovert and you can come back. That is a dynamic. That's why we are not saying that this person will be the same kind of personality for throughout the year. No, the personality changes. And this optimism is one of the personality disposition that we can see in a person whom we label the person as a more optimistic person. When the person, majority of the time, understand that, majority of the time, they have this kind of tendency, we can say that the person, an optimistic person. And they found that in the theory, in the model, optimism are directly associated to reduce that anxiety, depression, and stress. And during this lockdown and pandemic period, many people are having that problem. Many people they are experiencing health anxiety, stress, and depression. To come out from that, the best way is an optimism. And when we look at that physical health and emotional health, the overall, the holistic wellness, holistic health, we can find out in the people who are practicing optimism is very high. So overall, they are healthy than the other members who are not practicing, who are not giving priority to that optimism. And this optimism may can also increase the resilience of the persons. Resilience means there are many adversities, many problems we may face in our life to come to the normal stage. Resilience is one of the important quality, a trait needed in an individual that can be cultivated, that can be developed in a person who is an optimistic. Otherwise, the person may not have the quality. And the coping mechanism for, as I said, for stress and other problems, the person will have that. When you look at the physical appearance, overall appearance itself is accept others as it is unconditionally, and they will exhibit that in a way the other members will like that. And that's a quality the optimistic person they have. That optimistic individual they will not involve that denial or avoidance defense mechanism. They accept it because in reality they accept it. That is also comes under optimism. See, yesterday or the day before yesterday, I given inputs regarding that. If I become an optimist, will it happen to me? That kind of sarcastic comment people will make them. For those people, I can say that there are two kinds of optimism: realistic optimism and unrealistic optimism. If the people who are thinking about that unrealistic optimism, they may not be successful in their life. You have to ensure that realistic optimism. What is my current level? What I can do that, and with the support of other members, with the support of the training and skill, if I take, and that level you have to put it on optimism, not beyond the limit. If it is so, that means you are making you are having that misunderstanding about optimism. And there are many. Even the previous slide also will come to know that the outcomes of optimism is very high. This, especially this model, dispersonal theory model of optimism, it suggests that optimism leads positive consequences in our life. There are many positive consequences in life. But at the same time, if the person is an pessimism, that leads to stressful outcome and increased dissatisfaction among the relationship and the members in the family. That you know that these studies were recorded in two cases, one in the year 1992 and another one study in 2001 also, saying that they found that positive consequences life can be achieved only when the people who are practicing optimism. At the same time, if the person who are experiencing stressful experiences, stressful outcomes if they face, or increased dissatisfaction among the relationship or the members, it is because of pessimistic quality they possess. And these authors, they argue that this optimism leads to positive outcome in a person rather than the pessimistic person that leads to negative outcome. As I said, when you look at the person face itself, you will come to know that whether the person is an optimistic person or a pessimistic person. You can easily find out. And that's why when you look at the elder members in our family, they will say that I don't continue the friendship with that person. We can have other members as a friend. This kind of quote we are hearing because when you look at the face is an index of the feeling, the emotion the person having that we can able to find out. And there were studies carried out with young adults. And that study, they found that optimism has been found to be very, very important for the greater life satisfaction. There are many people, I'm not satisfied about my life. This poor self life satisfaction is very common among the people nowadays. But the optimistic people are having greater life satisfaction. Whatever they have, they are satisfied. They will not complain about if I'm a son of Ambani, if I'm son of Bill Gates, I'll be a happy person. So that kind of complaint they will not make it. And this was study carried out in the year 1997. On the other hand, when you look at that, the people with pessimistic, created depressive symptoms are very high. That's why there are many people in your home, in your area, in your community. Instead of focusing on the optimism, if they focus on negative, pessimistic component, they are more prone to depression. Okay. And other thing is on they feel optimism is on disposition coming from the inside. Okay. The people with optimistic qualities, optimistic traits, optimistic personality, they reported very few physical symptoms and they show that better health habit as well as better coping strategies. For that, the experiment was conducted. A group who had an experience of bad outcome being diagnosed with breast cancer patients. Okay. The people with a positive personality, optimistic personality, they experience less distress than the people who are not doing that optimistic personality. And they experience less distress. They engage more actively in coping that the pain, the experiences they had. They very clear understanding about what kind of the problem they are having, and instead of focusing on that the block, they focus on the light. Instead of focusing on the dark, they focus on the light. So not only one study, in that model, they cover and say that they come up with that there are a number of studies were conducted on that optimism, being an optimism, what are the benefit out of you will get it. At the same time, if you are become a pessimistic person, what are the other negative experience they may face that also recorded and which was founded in different studies. We will move on to the second model in optimism. That is an explanatory model of optimism. What it says, this explanatory model was introduced by Martin Seligman. Okay. As you all aware about that, the people who are may not aware about, I will just give a brief introduction about him. Martin Seligman is a famous concept. He was very popular. He is the father of positive psychology, and the concept called learned helplessness was introduced by him. He said that this optimism can be inbuilt or it can be developed. So it can be developed also. And we have that more ideal models in that optimistic qualities, and we also tend to become an optimist. Just think about it. All the members in our family are optimistic, and we also tend to become an optimistic. According to this model, this theory, the people who perceive failure and stressful event and like pessimistic, who will experience failure in their life, the failure in the attempt what they made, the personal life, or pessimistic. And optimistic, on the other hand, he explained that they are having that cognitive ability to understand that the current situation, and they will come forward and work further how we can come out from the problem. There is a basic difference between optimistic and the pessimistic person, and they will understand the current situation. They will analyze and they open to learn and change that the thing to solve the problem. And according to this theory, optimistic people, they are, I think the point we discussed earlier. He extended his this model is ABC. Okay. ABC model. Martin Seligman is the founder of this model. He believed that anyone can learn how they want to become an optimistic. The first one is an theorist insisted that optimism is an inborn, is an built-in, it is a personality trait. But here he said that it can be developed. And he gave an example with that. He developed learned optimism test to understand the people to know that whether they are having that optimistic personality, optimistic outlook. That with that test, we can able to know that. And what is the ABC model? Um, People who try to turn to become the normal pessimistic or realistic to optimism, they found that they improved in emotional health. And the people who lowered their symptom of depression and the negative experiences. Seligman approach of this learned optimism, it is based on that cognitive behavior technique developed by Aaron Beck. As you all know that there are two therapeutic techniques which is very popular, very widely used in therapeutic purpose in counseling settings. One is on CBT and another one is REBT, Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy, Cognitive Behavior Therapy. Aaron Beck and Albert Ellis are the base. Martin Seligman took the base of this theory and he developed that learned optimism. And both approaches, they try to find out and identify that the thought that influence our behavior. There are negative thoughts you may have that. For example, I'll give one example. The belief system may have that. When someone is created on distress or abuse or bullying, and he belongs to a particular community, and if I have that, okay, these community people means all the people have same kind of behavior. If I add on such a belief system, such a thought, it is on the root cause for almost all the problem. In this model, they help us to change, alter the thought process by cognitive restructuring, modification of the thought we are having. With that, we can able to make a change and we can able to come to the model. What the model he given is an ABCD model. What is A, B, C, D, E? A is an adversity. Every one of us, we are having that adversity in our life, like this pandemic time. The situation called for a response. A belief, how we interrupt the event. And the same situation, there are two persons. Whether the dog is running towards them, chasing them, and one person will be more comfortable, another person may not be comfortable. And the belief is very important. And consequences, how they feel, respond, and behave. And distribution, you go there and make an effort to change that the particular dispute belief. What they can say in this here, cognitive distortion, biased thought, biased cognitive belief system. When we change that, we can able to make a change. And finally, the energizes the outcome of belief system, and they can make a positive outcome in a person. This is an ABC model. It's one by one. Adversity. You think about that recently, any adversity which you have faced, just imagine that. It may be anything, it may be your health, it may be your family, or it may be your relationship, or it may be your workplace, or it may be your job related. Whatever it may be, you just think about that. Okay, that is an adversity, just imagine that. Okay. And second one is in the belief system, you make a note about that particular thought you had, which is running in your mind for a longer period of time, and that gives adversity. You feel that you're uncomfortable in your mind. Be honest to yourself. Okay. Don't be sugarcoat that it's not a harm to me. So such a thing, just be honest about the belief system what you have. For example, I'm no good at following my workout plan. I will never be able to reach my goals. Maybe I'm not strong enough to reach my goals. So these are the words. It is on the poor belief system the person having that. We have to alter here. Okay, what are the consequences we can see that person? Then, take on one particular belief the person having that. And we focus on the particular negative belief. You have to create an awareness about that. What you are having that negatively, you have to make an attempt to alter that belief system. And when you make an attempt to change that belief system, you can move towards your goal. Otherwise, you will not make an attempt. For example, if I think that I can't do, if I have that belief, I will not make any attempt to reach my goals. And when you give on some examples, the people with that less qualities or potentials of yours may achieve those things, and that motivates. Externally, when we get input from that, when we got an ideal models, ideal examples, and we just make an try to reach our goals. And dispute is something, and as I said earlier, you create an awareness. You are making the dispute. Okay, what he said is right. We think about that. Yes, we can also do that. We can also can do that. And they assume that okay, if I am not able to solve the problem, and we can able to get help from others. See, we cannot have the solution for all the problem what we are having. We get it from other members. We can add under, and we can move on further. And when we do that workout, and when we need support from others, then we take out, and we can successfully come out from the negative belief system what we are having. And what kind of impact that will make? That will give energy. Okay, once if you solve the problem in your lifetime, when we come to know that okay, I thought that I couldn't do that, but I just come out from that negativity. I come out from that low self-confidence. And that gives boost. Okay, when you success, first step, and you will have that more energy to go to the next one. See, dispute is the disputing your negative belief system, negative thoughts, what you are holding, and maybe due to that many myths and misconceptions we receive from the society or from the learning, and that need to be altered. When you do the alteration, that gives a lot of energy to us, and with that energy we can move forward. So these are the models available as of now for developing optimism. One model I will summarize here. One model saying that optimism is unnatural. It is unnatural, it is ungenetical, it is coming from inwards. Now, another model need not be. Optimism can be developed from externally also. When you are giving an external motivation, additional support to the person, when you change that negative thought and belief the person having, you can able to change the optimism. So these are the two models are saying. And nowadays, I can say that people who are working on the field of mental health and distress and stressful area, they said that optimism we can use as a therapy. You all know that what do you mean by therapy? Therapy is a treatment for the illness or disease. What is the current major problem in what we are facing? Anxiety, stress, and depression. Anxiety started from 32 to 72. Depression from 12 to 43. See the fourfold increase in that distress. So during this time, we thought that therapy means giving medication and other things. Need not to be. Therapy, optimism we can use as a therapy. Being an optimism, we know that these are the benefits. We don't use as a therapy. And here there are certain people they use. Any condition, a psychological condition which is close to the negative thinking, unbearable distress or traumatic experiences, that can be reverted by using that optimistic interventions. You want to change, that can be reverted. And when we have to use this as an therapy, there is a question, when the person who are having major depression, okay, there is a bipolar symptom, the person having the bipolar symptom, there also we can use the postpartum blues of the people the woman who give the birth and they have that postpartum depression, and post-traumatic stress disorders and bereavement. There is someone close one is no more, they lost something which is very close to them, terminal illnesses, breast cancer, and these kind of people, this optimism you can use or select as on therapy. You can use as on therapy. And as I said, there are a number of studies were carried out on optimism, and the focus is shifted from that illness to wellness. And all the studies, even the study 1997, 87, and 2000, and even 2020, also the number of studies were carried out, and they found that, for example, in a natural disaster that happened, the people with positive, optimistic qualities, and they had hope, and they are very quickly come to that normal state. On the other hand, the people suffered a lot, and that it not only made the impact on them, there are many impact which made to the family members also. For example, if I'm not feeling well, I'm not making uncomfort to me myself also. It is happening to my family members and surrounding and friends circle also. Okay, what is the first year outcome of optimism? The research has shown that there is a high correlation is found between optimism and that following components. One is your life expectancy will be increased. I think we have discussed a lot in our previous presentation. It improves your general health. It improves your mental health. It increases the success in any kind of sports activity or related. And that gives greater recovery from that, any kind of problem. With a heart related problem, you can easily recover from that. And the person who are learned optimism in different sources, different models, and they can able to cope with adversity. Now we are facing the adversity, and the people with optimism, they can cope with adversity. With that note, I can stop here, and these are the references I collected today. And we discussed in a 4-day about what is optimism, what are the qualities and traits and characteristics, and we discussed about the benefits and importance. And today we discussed about the models, and tomorrow we'll discuss about that the strategies we can use in our life to develop optimism. With that, I can stop here. If you have any questions related to my presentation, you are welcome. Or else, would you like to add on the points related to my presentation? Also, you are welcome. Thank you so much. So, Salim sir, over to you. And Salim sir will take care of the Q&A and what happens.
Thank you, Dr. Suresh Kumar sir. Participants can kindly unmute yourself and you can ask a question, or you can put in the questions in the chat box. I can able to read and convey to the resource person.
So I will do share the feedback and e-certificate link in the chat box, sir. Give me a minute.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Yes, there is no, if you have any doubt related to that, you can ask me. Or if you come to know that certain things in your area and the person who are optimism who has done something successful, you know that some case study, you can also share here. Or else we can, thank you. There are many people typing that your Lavanya, Magalakshmi, thank you so much. Satya, Bhagilavani, Sal Muhammad. Thank you, thank you. You have any questions, or would you like to add on that what we were discussed? Will you agree that optimism can be developed in an individual?
Greetings to you, first of all, sir. Thanks a lot for your wonderful presentation.
Thank
you. Sir, what do you think on who has more optimism in their life, whether they're educated or uneducated?
Ma'am, if I received correctly, who is more optimistic, whether educated people or uneducated people? It is not about that education. It is about open-minded. There are many educated people, they are closed mindset also. The growth mindset people, we can find out they are more optimistic in nature, and fixed mindset people, they are not optimistic. So it's not about that based on the education qualification. I can say there are many low level of education, they are having more optimism. Even high, more educated people are still, they are not optimistic in nature.
I have also tried these kind of situations in my life. But I have found so many uneducated persons are very good, very optimistic, and have very nice coping mechanisms. But the educated persons not have that. So what does the education system do? So in my training, when I interact with my higher officers, always insist, other than law education, other than sex education, psychological education is very, very important in the world. But nobody listens to that.
That is why you can find out that in the B.Ed curriculum itself, they included education psychology, and they given the practical also. And there are 2 more papers in your ancillary paper. You can find out child development. There is one paper, guidance and counseling also a paper that is included. Is because a teacher must be a counselor. When we look at the definition for the term education and psychology, what is psychology? Study of behavior. What is education? Modification of behavior. Without knowing the behavior, how we can modify. So an education means that includes psychology.
But in the what I want is, sir, the students must know the psychology concepts from the first standard to degree. So every person should know the basic psychological concepts. It's my dream, sir. I'm
Yeah, I
waiting for
agree.
that day to come.
Yeah, I agree with you, ma'am. The
Even
reason,
though the teachers or the counselors, the teachers' points are not conveyed to the students in the proper manner. But the students has to know the psychological concepts, the basic psychology from the first standard onwards. So I request you to take the initiative for that, sir. Thank you.
definitely, ma'am. And when you look at the research which was carried out on psychology, there are two fields. One is about illness, and another one is positive psychology. Number of researchers on positive psychology increases only after 2080s. Very recently, this field is emerging, and these need to be given more. If I say that number of researchers that carried out in the field are increasing, not in India, it is there in the developed countries, and that need to be done here, and that need to be brought into the notice of the policymakers when they are aware that need to be inculcated. For example, when the many people they used to give the statement that when we were studying, we had a moral education, ethical values in our school education. That's why we are following the rules and regulations. But nowadays, those components were not included. The priority was given to the marks and academic components, even not for the extracurricular activities. That's why most of the people are selfish in nature. They are running towards money, and they are not taking care of the physical health as well as mental health. See, these need to be brought into the notice of the policymaker. When we do so, definitely they will come forward, and then we can make a lot of changes.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
First of all, thank you very much for your very beautiful presentation on optimism subject. Okay, first of all, very appreciating, sir. But actually, in the intellectual point of view, I have some doubt regarding optimism and pessimism. The scientific experiments, okay, suppose a person who is becoming a scientist or some scientific method, if you are thinking, the optimism and pessimism, it is means side by side. It has to be go around the life. Means, is it required? Because for why I am thinking like that is the aeroplane. Okay, the aeroplane which came in the findings of some scientists. So it is gone with because it is an optimistical mind. Okay, the travel of the journey it will be very fine. Okay, will from one end to another and we will travel very nicely. But meanwhile, some pessimism has come because of that parachute. It may be find out. Right? So it will be side by side. It has to go or.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think you asked the question and you given the answer for the question itself. And as I said in my presentation, optimism means not 100% you have to be optimistic. No, we have to give a space for pessimism also. But most of the time, we try to be an optimism. That means that the person we label them as an optimist. It is an 100%. More than 50%, the person is an optimistic.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean that the person may not have the pessimistic component. That means the safety and security component. Optimistic people within those components also in future they hope that if it is what is the remedy? I can give one example here. When Ratan Tata had done the Dream project, he introduced a 1 lakh rupee car.
Okay.
And, he made a meeting with all the executives, and it is there nearly 500 members, I think so. And everyone they come for and said that it is not possible. From the morning 9 to evening 4. Okay. He listened, patiently listened everything, and he took a stage and said that, okay, as of now, you all said that we cannot able to make a car for 1 lakh rupees. But now, you come forward, how we can able to make it possible now on top. That is an option.
Correct, sir. Yeah.
See, that input, he take it. He is not denied everything. He took it. But finally, just change your thought. Okay, what are the things we can able to cut down and how we can able to make it possible? That attitude we need. And optimistic person means they may have pessimism. For example, even that positive emotion, negative emotions. We cannot rule out negative emotions. It's negative. For example, if you fail the examination, you have to little feel the guilty about that. Otherwise, the person may not have the fear for the next examination.
Okay.
Percentage must be on 1:3. 1% you have to give for pessimistic or negative thoughts, and remaining 2%, the 66% you have to give importance for optimism. That is the thing they are trying to say that.
Yeah, yeah.
Practically not possible. How I can become a laugh from morning to evening? If I do so, I'm an abnormal person.
Yeah, yeah, correct. Okay, okay. Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
This is Amrut Muzumdar from
Yeah.
Raipur.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
Sir, first of all, congratulations for excellent presentation done, excellent content,
Thank you.
very much knowledge-filled content. So I wanted to know, does optimism has to do something with the childhood abuses or trauma or childhood victimization?
Lovely question, sir. And the children with optimistic experiences, optimistic role model, optimistic inputs that they receive at childhood, and they will be flourishing at later stages. At the same time, they were in the environment where given much focus on the pessimistic component. I will give one example. I think there are many of you may aware about that. Sigmund Freud, he 200% believed that an adult or youngster or old age people having any kind of mental illnesses, it is because there was a childhood traumatic experience in that person. So that is the root cause for that, which was not addressed during that time, and it leads mental health problem. And optimism is thing when we nurture that quality in the kids. For example, I still remember when I failed in a particular examination, and my friends were told me that don't worry. If they said, okay, you are not come to, that's all, you closed. If they said to me, I may not try next time. But this kind of inputs when they get it. And that way, when you look at that, the community in a society which were more optimistic people, and they are more creators and more successful people. It can take any places. You can name it a community, you can name it a religion. They have a particular quality. Lovely question, sir. I think a valid question at right point. We have to understand that we think that we are putting, we are sowing the seeds and we will give a fruit in the next day. No. When you see, when you sow that negative traumatic experiences, and later stages it will manifest as a mental health problem. When you sow the optimistic quality and traits and practices, and you will get on fruits at later stages.
Sir, should optimism assessment be made mandatory in school level so that
it could be done. Yeah, we can recommend. We have to
so that these children can be properly trained and counseled, and their parents may be counseled and still like better, or I would say healthy adolescent and healthy adults can be developed.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Totally agree.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hafsa, Shal Mugant, and Pooja Devi, and Aarti, Anita, ma'am, Vinith. Thank you all. Thank you so much. If there is any inputs or questions, you can welcome. You can ask me, and then I will have a discussion another 3 minutes, and we'll go to that vote of thanks. Thank you, Vidya, ma'am. Thank you, Kirtan. But I think there is no more questions from the members. Salim sir, you can go ahead for vote of thanks. Now I request Dr. Salim sir to propose vote of thanks for today's session.
Thank you, Dr. Suresh Kumar sir.
Thank you.
It is a very wonderful session about the optimism, and of course we are having like a different topics in a couple of days. Optimism introduction and how it relates to the mental health and optimism characters. And yesterday we saw a lot of strategies and the importance of optimism. There are different strategies you explained nicely, very well, benefits. And today, so models, you explained how the optimism models helps to convert. And after that, the questions thrown by the participant, and you very clearly explained with nicely, and I think everybody can understand the optimism with the reality, because the questions from the person we can understand how optimism will help in the in reality in our day-to-day life, all those things. And it is nice to note that, sir, this optimism concept rise from the CBT and the REBT therapies. So after that, the concept was optimism concept was developed, and they are using for the therapies, for the developing the betterment for the major depressions, all those things. And of course, you said it is increasing life expectancy, increasing general health, mental health, and success. And we learn a lot about the ABC models, like adversity, belief, and consequences. And really, this model gives the eye-opening session to how we can change our thinking, how we can change our belief system, and how we can come out from that any dispute, and how can we energize ourselves. So we understand that, as you said, it is the natural and it can be developed by the external also. So in that putting in concept, and everybody, if we are not having the capacity, I think we can develop this capacity and we can become the optimistic person. Above the 50% use. So we can develop surely. So so thank you very much, wonderful clarity, sir.
Thank you.
So on behalf of organizers, and I will thank you, kindly accept gratitude on behalf of American College Madurai and Headpond Educational Psychological Research Center Madurai and MS Chellamuth Rehabilitation Center Madurai and Madras School of Social Work Chennai and Psycho-Oncological Association Turkey and technical support from Yellow Pond. And thank you very much, sir. Thank you all the participants for
Thank
your
you. Thank you, Salim,
continuous
sir.
support.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for unconditional support and care towards me. Thank you, sir. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Participant,